And this is a very, very philosophical section. But we'll try to learn what Krishna is saying and how we can learn lessons in our life based on this knowledge, right? So in this particular chapter, Krishna is giving us the knowledge of Kshetra, Kshetrajna, and the Jnana. Three things. The Kshetra, that is the body. Kshetrajna is what we're going to talk now, the knowable, and the knowledge. So the last time we were talking in the last 2-3 uh, classes, the various qualities that are needed to function in this world. So we discussed that at very length: humility, tolerance, simplicity, and all these qualities that are needed. And Krishna says, if you have these qualities, this is knowledge. Then you can function in this world without much confusions, right? So we will not summarize that. So today, Krishna is speaking about the Kshetrajnas, the knower, the knowable, right? So the first aspect Krishna speaks about is the first knowable. Who is the first knowable? He says is the Brahman, the spirit. Brahman, the spirit, is the first knowable. Right? We'll speak it technically and then speak what is the lesson we can learn in our lives. Okay. So who is this Brahman? Everybody in this world is talking about this whole cosmos. This whole cosmos is moving. It is having so much of complicated phenomena, the atmosphere, the environment. All of you been to so many places in India and all over the world, right? And you see so many beautiful panoramic scenes. You see so much of technology. You see so much of advancement, right? If somebody asks a question, who made this beautiful creation? Who is orchestrating this beautiful creation? The sun is setting in the evening, and in the morning it comes in time, right? We may or may not be able to get up in the morning, but the sun always gets up in the morning. The ocean is within its brink. You see, the oceans are next to the big cities. If there is a little overflood, the whole cities will be in water. Next to Bombay is the whole Arabian Sea, and you see so much of water. And how much land? Very little. And similarly, you look around the various big countries, but you don't see the water flooding in and the whole civilization being watered in, isn't it? So, what is it? The whole creation that we look at, and we see everything is kind of in order. Something is moving the whole thing. The whole energy of this world comes from the sun, isn't it? Today we're talking about petrol shortfall, LPG shortfall. It is still there, huh? Still there. So where does petrol and LPG gas come from? Where does petrol come from? All of us are using petrol, huh? Gulf countries. From Gulf. Okay, where do the Gulf countries get petrol from? Yes, they get it from the Gulf. So if you have studied, it says how the sun's energy kind of, slowly it's formed into the petrol right below, isn't it? So now the question is, how is this energy of the sun continuously emitting? You don't hear a time that sun has lost its radiation. You see so much of luminosity, isn't it? So when you look at this whole world, what do we learn? Who is behind the scene? Is there anyone behind the scene? Is someone making things happen? Like talking from a phenomenal observation. Like, we talk it from the Shastra, but say if somebody wants to understand this phenomenal world from what we see, so who is making everything happen in this whole cosmos? There is something, there's something behind, right? Is everyone in agreement that there's something behind, or is it happening by a chance or by itself? No, you can have an opinion, no problem. Just like I was talking just before the class, I said the whole theory is everything began with a big bang, a big blast, right? So then people say that actually there is no superior power behind. It is kind of at a point of time there was an explosion and everything began. So I was asking this question anytime you would ask, okay, an explosion started it all, but who made the explosion? Make sense? The Big Bang say started everything. Even for theory case, if you accept it, then the question is, who made the Big Bang? Who made the blast happen? Just like in, huh? Okay, now that's how the chance theory came up, right? That it could be by chance, right? So now the question to that theory is, what is the phenomenon in this world that you see happens by chance? Is there any phenomenon you see in this world that just happens by itself and you don't need any intervention in our whole aspects, right? Anything do you see that it happens by a probability or a chance? Yeah, accident happens. Things go haywire, but if you see some organization, okay, if you see some organization, you know it cannot be by chance, right? It's like, can anyone believe that we came to this room and we found everything arranged for the class? The chatais are there, the mic system is there, and everything is there, and nobody put any effort. How many of you would believe it? No, it didn't happen in a day. It happened in millions of years. The atoms moved one by the one, and they kind of collated to form a pattern, and this happened, right? Would anyone believe this, that in millions of years this arrangement got done? So nothing in this world actually you see, if it is organized, happens by chance, right? Nothing you see is happening by chance. There's always someone behind. There's always someone behind. So then the logic is everything in this world there is someone behind, but behind the world there's no one. It is logically not logical because you're using logic to understand it, and through logic you understand there's someone behind. So then how did everything happen with no one behind, right? So Krishna is speaking that it is the Brahman, the energy of the Lord, right? The all pervasive energy of the Lord that's making everything happen. And all the religions, all the philosophies at least come to this conclusion, yes, there is something that's behind. कुछ तो है जो ये दुनिया को चला रहा है, कुछ तो है जिसके कारण एक हिसाब किताब चल रहा है, right? Like we always talk about it. If it's all happening by a phenomenon, then why are there so much differences between people? Why everybody is not born in a similar way, right? That means there is some judgment, some kind of evaluation. Somebody is born rich, somebody is born poor, somebody is born very beautiful, someone is born not so beautiful, someone is born healthy, someone is not born healthy. Like, you can see so many parameters. Then if it's all happening as an organization, as a phenomenon, then why is so much differences? There cannot be any explanation. That means there is there is someone behind, and there is just not some energy behind. There is someone who is doing some modulation also. He's making things happen. Like everyone has this understanding. If you do good in your life and you're virtuous, then you can expect things to be very nice. And if you are not following virtues and we are negative, then you see the response in our life is also negative. See that? They say, right? As you sow, so shall you reap. Right? So, how does this happen? That means there is someone behind. There is someone behind. And all these verses we studied, it is speaking about that personality who is behind. Right? We, in general, by an observation, we can know that there is someone behind. But Shastras help you know who is that person behind and what are the various characteristics of that person. And imagine someone who is behind the whole game, you get to know their likes, dislikes, and their nature. Then what will happen? Then what will happen? You can collaborate with them and move the whole world. Make sense? If you know the person behind, and if the person is ready to give you an opportunity to become connected to him, then what will happen to you? You will become most influential. Most influential. Just like if you have connection with the chief minister or the ministers of the state, then any good will happen to your business, to your work. Yes or no? Yes. So you have more connection with the prime minister of the India, then some good will happen. And say you have connection with the whole world's influencer, they may keep changing. Yes or no? So similarly here, the one who is behind the whole game, we are understanding about that person, and he has sent his address in the Gita. He has sent his contact number in the Gita, and he has also said how can you become a buddy or partner to that person, right? That is the key to this knowledge. So how many of us want to make a connection, collab? Raise your hand if you're interested. Unanimous interest? Okay, very good. So having made this premise, now let us read what is being said, right? So we'll speak one aspect of this shloka, which is unveiling the person behind the scenes, right? Who is the person behind the scenes? So the first thing he speaks is about the Brahman, the spirit, right? He's beginningless and he's beyond the cause and effect of this world. So who is this Brahman and the spirit that is being talked about in the beginning? It is talking about the soul, all of us sitting in this room. It is talking first about the person who is actually going to be revealed of the person behind the scenes. That is all of us, you know. And we have read it in the Gita several times that this body that we are sitting in is like the car, and the driver of this car is ourselves. Right? Each of us are in a particular vehicle, sharira, and उसके अंदर एक चालक है. Chalak means the driver. So all of us are actually the drivers sitting in sophisticated vehicles. Like if If you see a Mercedes going, a BMW going, a Jaguar going, what else is a car?
You named it.
Name more. Audi going, more? Huh? Porsche going, what else?
Maruti.
Maruti going, what else? Any other cars? Huh? Bentley going, what else? Is there any other cars in Kolkata? MG. Okay, MG going. Or whatever car, and you see all the shields are covered, blackened, and they're moving with swift speed. What do you understand if such vehicles are moving with swift speed? Are they moving by themselves? You understand there's someone inside driving it. Anyone believes it, it's happening by itself. Like there's no one inside. Now you may say, what is that car? Tesla. But I think Tesla also, you need to be inside, and you need to be on the, though it's in auto mode, you got to be there, because they found it can be disastrous. Because in case nobody is there and if there's an accident, then whom do you catch? There's no one who could be caught. Right? So someone got to be responsible for the whole thing. So the first thing Krishna is speaking about is the driver, the soul. And he's speaking something very interesting about the soul, which you will be very happy to know about. He says that the soul has no beginning and the soul has no death. The driver never dies. He is beginningless and he never. He says, na jayate mriyate va kadachin. Krishna says, na jayate means he has no birth. Na mriyate means he has no death. Na hanyate. Na hanyate means you cannot kill him. Hanyamane sharire. Even if you kill the body, you cannot kill the soul. In this world, if there's an accident, the driver may not survive. But the driver that we are talking about, sitting inside each of us, we never die. All the fear in this world, actually, if you see all the fear that we have in this world, how many of us have fear? Everybody has fear. The fear, if you compound, all the fear of, fear of disease, fear of failure, fear of things not working, fear of what will happen in the future, fear of so much happening, all the fear compounded, please understand, all the fear compounded is actually fear of death. All the fear compounded is actually the fear of losing it all. And death is the aspect of losing everything. So because we have fear of death, we have all fears, chota mota and bada. Make sense what I'm saying? The fear is because we have fear that we will die and we'll lose it all. And all the other fears are corollary of that fear. But here Krishna is speaking that actually we never die. We never die. He says we are, here he says that Anadi, we are Anadi and Amrita. We never die. So that means we have nothing to fear. Socrates, you've heard about him? Socrates was a big philosopher. So the king who invaded, wanted to, kill these philosophers who were in the state, who were the thinkers. So they actually sent men to catch Socrates and to poison him to death. Right? So Socrates was so fearless. They came to, poison him. He said, you cannot catch me. What do you talk about? Killing me. You can't catch me. How can you kill me. That means he was realized that he would not die. He knew that if I leave this vehicle, I will exist somewhere else in some other vehicle. I will never cease to exist. If I get down a Maruti and I go into a Jaguar, what happens?
The vehicle is changed.
The vehicle is changed. The Jaguar runs down, I get into MG. The MG runs down, I get into a Bentley. Bentley, something happens, I go to Tesla. Tesla, something goes wrong, I go to what are the other cars we talk? Say Tata. So the cars will keep changing, but we never die. We never die. So this should actually make us very fearless. Yes, Mother. That's okay. That's okay. We have capacity to adjust within our scenarios, right? Like, if you have X amount of resources, then you adjust within it. You may desire 10x, but जितना है उसमें आप adjust कर लेते हैं, हाँ कि ना? Isn't it? जब पानी कम है तो जितना पानी है उतने में सब कुछ कर लेते हैं, और जब पानी ज्यादा है तो टंकी टंकी बहा देते हैं. We all have capacity, have you seen? We all have capacity to adjust ourselves in any situation. It may take us little disturbance initially, but after some time we get adjusted. Isn't it? Anytime a change happens in our life, how many of us become disturbed? Something changes in life. And then after some time, what happens? We get used to it. So now this is another beautiful thing that you can learn, which is there in the Bhagavatam. It says that the living entity has the capacity to adjust himself or herself in any situation. We have the capacity to adjust. It will just take us some time to get kind of used to it, right? And after it gets used to it, to come out of that situation will become difficult. There is a statistical study they have done on experiences of people who had capital punishment. Capital punishment means you're in the jail. You're in the jail for 10 years, 15 years, and 20 years. And then they studied the phenomenon of how people experience when they get the opportunity to leave the jail, or when they're told to come out of the jail. What is their experience? And they found out that after 15 years of being in the jail, they don't feel like leaving the jail. they kind of get foodie with what they get in the jail. Maybe you can come a little bit here. I can't see Ritika Mata. You just come here. Yeah. Thank you. So, you get attached to the food in the jail. You get attached to standing in the line for the food. You get attached to your checked shirt. It's checked shirt or with the stripes. Stripes, and you have a number. 420. Say people feel kind of separation and they don't want to leave. Now you and me look at the whole situation. It's a good thing if out of the jail, come back home. The living entity has a nature to become attached and adjusted to even misery in some time. That is the way we are designed. That is the way the phenomenon of, that means just like you made a question that what we degenerate. The jiva has the capacity to adjust. Now look at a dog. It is the driver who has got into a degenerated vehicle. It is adjusted. Now I'm not saying we should be okay. I'm just saying the aspect that there is no fear because the soul is eternal. There is no fear. Like we fear that something will happen which we don't want, or which may not be tolerable, or which may be something. But actually, the soul being eternal, you know, there's nothing that can go wrong with it. It's just that the situation will change, and you do get adjusted with the change. You do get adjusted with the change. Yes, now what is the change that we would prefer to have? That's another discussion. But the basic point that I'm trying to say is we don't die.
So we must reiterate the premise for everyone, all the people listening, first time, that we actually, falsely identify ourselves with the vehicle, but
Yes.
we are actually the driver.
Yes.
So the difference between the body and the soul needs to be reiterated for the benefit of
Yes.
understanding.
Thank you for that point. So we are the driver, we are not the body. We are the driver, we're not the body. So the body dies, we don't die. The body dies, we don't die. The driver doesn't die, unlike the accident here. The driver is eternal. He exists all the time. And in all situations, he continues on. All situations, he continues on. And as at the point that I'm trying to say, all the fear of our life is because we know we're going to die and lose it all. The reality is, the temporary things that we're dealing with anyway will go away sooner or later. That is the first thing that Krishna is speaking. The second thing Krishna says is that the first person is the driver, and then the person behind the scenes is the Supersoul, the Paramatma. It says that Sarve, the words he says, Sarvata Panipadam Tat Sarvato Shiro Mukham Sarvata Shrutimal Loke Sarvam Avritya Tishtati. Everywhere is his hands, legs, eyes, heads, face, ears. The super soul is present everywhere. He's all pervading. He's all pervading, but he's localized. Makes sense what I'm saying? Just like you say a company is an MNC. ये company MNC है. MNC means multinational corporation. So what is the immediate question you will ask? अगर उस कंपनी से आपको कनेक्ट करना है, what is the immediate question you will ask? It is an MNC all over the world. Now you want to get connected with that MNC. What is the immediate question you will ask? Huh? Where is the local branch? Yes or no? Now this brand is all over the world, but where is the local office I can connect? Make sense? Similarly, the Lord is everywhere, but he has a local office where you can go and meet. How many of you want to know the local address? How many of you know the local address? What is the local address of the Supersoul? Yes, within the body. In the heart. हमारे दिल में है. ब्रांच भगवान ने हमारे दिल में खोला है. That means the driver is in the region of the heart, and next to the driver there is a local outlet, a local branch where the super soul resides. Did you know that? So the soul never dies, and the super soul, who is actually making everything move, who is behind the scenes, who is the actual, initiator, maintainer of everything, is also eternal, sitting next to the soul, the driver. The local branch is only walking distance, or not even walking distance. It's just few steps. Makes sense, right? That's all. The influencer is just sitting next to you in the heart. Now the next question, but why should he give me patta? MNC वाला है, बिलियनर ट्रिलियनर कंपनी है, क्यों लोकल ब्रांच वाला मुझे पत्ता दे? Isn't that a good question? Will the super soul give patta to us? Like, will the prime minister give patta to us? Will he call you and says, so hello Haribol, how are you doing in Baliganj or whichever place you're staying? I hope the government is doing good. Any problems? Or can you call up if you want? It's unlike Lord Ram's time. You know, Lord Ram's time, the darbar was open, the timings were clear. Anybody wanted, they could walk in. And you know what is the darbar? Darbar is the king is sitting, and all the department heads and administrators are all sitting in the court. That means to resolve an issue, you don't need to wait for anyone. Everybody is sitting in the assembly. Whoever is responsible. And the Samrat, the emperor, is sitting on the throne. So if any problem comes, the solution has to come immediately. There is no further discussion required. ऐसा नहीं अरे वो मिनिस्टर छुट्टी पे गया है या वो तो यार आया नहीं, ये हुआ वो नहीं. Some reporting authority is sitting and Lord Ram speaks, okay, this is the issue, this is under you, settle the issue, finish it. That was Lord Ram. Everybody could approach. Like we hear that story, even a dog wanted justice, went to the darbar and got justice. If a dog can get justice, then what to say of all of us? We would get for sure. But today, no, you don't have access to the ministers, you don't have access to the influential people, you don't. But something very nice Krishna is saying here, that the super soul is giving us full access. Now you may say, why is super soul giving this full access? So the answer it says is, we have an eternal relationship with the super soul. The MNC local branch wala, the influencer, and the soul has a eternal relationship. We have already made a deal long time back, but somehow we misdealt. So that's why we're not remembering the deal. We have an eternal relationship with the Lord. And what is the relationship that we have with the Lord? What is our relationship? As a servant. We are Lord's das. Now, in this world, if you become someone's das, it is not khas. अगर आप बोलो मैं इसका दास हूँ उसका दास, but actually it is khas. If you say I am Prime Minister का PA, he is also das, but he is khas. तो किसका दास है उससे पता चलेगा कि वो खास है कि नहीं. तो अगर आप सुपर सोल के दास हो मतलब सुपर खास हो. We are very influential and we share an eternal loving relationship, right? So when this, now he says, when the soul engages in a relationship with the super soul, it becomes happy. And when they forget their relationship and deal with the world without that relationship, we become fearful. Make sense? When you remember the relationship and deal with the relationship and the world, you become happy. But when you forget your relationship, you feel like an orphan. You forget the relationship with the super soul and you also forget that you are eternal. Then there is so much of fear. राइट. एक तो है मैं प्रॉब्लम में फंस जाऊंगा, दूसरा मैं जब प्रॉब्लम में फंस जाऊंगा मुझे बचाने वाला कोई है नहीं. Isn't it? So this is the actual reason of all fear and confusion and difficulty in this world, because we have forgotten our
Relationship.
relationship, and we have forgotten our identity. What Krishna is saying is, if you can remember this lost understanding, immediately you experience nectar in your life. What do you experience? Nectar. You experience a lot of hope in life, isn't it? So this is the first thing that is being said here, right? That we never die. Second, the influencer behind the scenes has his local branch in our heart, in each of our hearts, not that in neighbor's heart, right? And वो हमें पत्ता देगा. क्यों? क्योंकि हमारा शाश्वत संबंध है. वो हमारे स्वामी हैं और हम उनके नित्य दास हैं. क्योंकि हम भूल गए हैं इसीलिए उदास हैं. जैसे ही याद आ जाएगा and you start connecting with your local branch, immediately you become influential. This is the game changer, right? At least we need to know the influential position we are in. Then the discussion will be how to kind of work it back, right? So this is the first thing Krishna is speaking about. And then he says, the super soul, he has his hands everywhere. What do you mean he has his hands everywhere? He has his ears everywhere. He has his eyes everywhere. What does that mean? Yes, omnipotent. If his ears are everywhere, what does that mean? Huh? He can hear everything of our life. He can hear every feeling of our heart. He can hear every situation of our heart. इस दुनिया में सुनने वाले नहीं रहते, सुनाने वाले सब रहते हैं. इसीलिए सोशल मीडिया आगे बढ़ रहा है. You want to speak and let people, you know. But we are all looking for people who can hear us and understand us. And Krishna says, he spoke, and the Paramatma's ears are everywhere. That means you can speak and he will hear. He will hear. You can give him your message. Second, he has eyes everywhere. He can see everything happening. And what are his eyes? Krishna says, is not like our eyes. His ears are not like our ears. What is the difference between our eyes and Krishna's eyes?
You can see only you can ask for the peripheral view, but you can see everything.
Yes. First thing is we can see something what's happening in the room, what's happening on the road downstairs, what's happening in your house while you are here. You cannot see. But Krishna can see. What else is the difference between our eyes and Krishna's eyes? We can see the present. Krishna can see our future. And Krishna can also reflect our past. For us, when we reflect our past, we forget our present. When we look at our future, we forget our present and past. So our lives are very confusing. In present, we are in future, right? In present, we are thinking about future. And when future, we think, what did we do in the present before? It's always worrying about what's not going on currently. Isn't it? You're worrying about what happened in the past. And then the present becomes past. Then you start worrying about the present which has become past. So best is you be in the present. But Krishna can see all of them. Now what does that mean? Krishna can see your past, present and future. What does that mean? The super soul can see your past, present and future. Haribol. The super soul can see your past, present and future. What does that mean? No, from a current situation. If the super soul knows your past, present, and future, what is the benefit? Huh? He can guide you. Very true. He can guide you. But what perspective of yours will change if he knows past, present, and future? What is all the worry about? What is all the worry about? Ki ho gayi. What's going to happen? Is my current hard work going to lead result? Am I going to be successful in my near future? Isn't that the concern? And Krishna knows that future. So if you have a connection with a person who knows your future, then how does your life become? It becomes very interesting. And then he says, my hands are everywhere. What does that mean by my hands are everywhere? मेरा हाथ सब जगह है मतलब yes, he has influence everywhere. Not only he knows your future, not only he knows your future, but he has hands everywhere to influence your future and present. Make sense? He has ears to hear your problem. He has eyes to see your solution. And he has hands to make it happen. Right? And he has legs to move you to that direction. Right? Make sense what I'm saying? And actually, those who make connection with the super soul, their lives become very navigated. And they are fearless in all circumstances. Right? So if we can make a connect with the super soul, then what will happen to our lives? It's done. No more anxiety. No more tension. Right? So this is the next quality of the super soul. He has ears to hear, he has eyes to see, he has hands to move, and he has legs to navigate you. Right? And he's committed once you want to connect with him. As you said, we share a relationship. He is open for the relationship. We have to make up our mind to get into a relationship. Right? वहां से लाइन क्लियर है, वहां से ऑलरेडी मैसेज आ गया है, आई एम ओपन. From our side, the anticipation is there. I love you. Do you love me too? The Lord is waiting. So that message is in our hands. And as I said, so this is the point that the senses of the Lord are unlike our senses, unlike our hands, unlike our legs. They are beyond time. They're beyond any aspects. Like today, you have relationship with somebody. You may say, Prabhu, that today they are in power, but tomorrow they may not be in influence. Like just in Calcutta, in Bengal, the party has changed. So all those who had influence with the previous party, today they are very fearful of the outcome of the connection. What was romantic has become a tragical thing. So now this is a problem with being connected to a powerhouse or a power, what do you call, a person with power. Because when the power changes, there can be a lot of issues. In Africa, it would happen, in one or few of the countries, when the next chief gets elected, they literally, catch and assassinate all the previous people and all the connects. So if a party changes, many people may not live anymore. Because they don't want them to turn against them and create at that level. So one may have this concern that, being connected to an influencer and the influencer loses his influence will be in trouble. But here It is saying that the super soul he's the master of the modes of material nature, and he is transcendental. That means his influence cannot die with time. He is beyond time. Anantakal ke liye, the Lord is in his position, and no one can bring him down. All time influence. Right? So you have no fear that if there is a change, there going to be any problem with us. Isn't it? When we were hearing about Prahlad and Narsimha, Hiranyakashipu ruled. Prahlad had no fear because he knew I have connection at the local branch. My Pitaji, he is going high today, but after some time his rule will come to an end. And sure did it come to an end. And that led. Right? And then he says the Lord is everywhere. Lord is inside every jiva. Lord is inside in our heart and he's in the heart of everybody. What does that mean? Lord is in heart of everyone. What does that mean? Lord is unlimited. This means, now I was just speaking to a family who got newly wedded, right? The biggest thing in relationships is how to keep it together, isn't it? Each of us who have relationships, the biggest thing is how to keep relationships together. But is it easy to keep relationships together? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Is it less difficult, more difficult?
In any relationship, it doesn't have to be.
Is it less difficult or more difficult to keep relationships? It's very difficult. If you really are close in relate, the more you are closer, it is more difficult. The more it is far away, it is less difficult. If two strangers fight, how long it takes to resolve? Not long, just you. He goes beyond the horizon, you go beyond the horizon. It's all forgotten. Now, if two friends fight, how much it takes to resolve it? Takes a lot. Now, if two family members fight, then how much it takes to? It's easy if two family members are fighting. And imagine like us, there are people fighting with their spouses. That is the most difficult to resolve. Because the more the relationship is closer, to keep it needs much more dedication. If the relationship is far off, and that is why in today's world people say, let's not be too close. You have your boundary, I have my boundary. You don't bump into my boundary, I don't bump into yours. But today people have become so fearful of relationships, they say, let's live together, live in relationship. Because it's too much fear. I don't want to have super heartbreaks, difficult times. I don't want to become, left, moving on. Isn't it? Are relationships easy or difficult? It's difficult. Why are the relationships difficult? Why are relationships difficult? Expectations, yes. You have expectations. What else? Why relationships are difficult? Different natures, okay. That's okay. We can be having different natures. What is the problem with different natures? Yes. Because we have egos. Two egos together can create a world war. आधा दुनिया मेरे साथ आधा दुनिया तेरे साथ. Right? Ego. Two people, two egos, and two egos in one place. It is very, very difficult. Right? Very difficult. Only way is if one is ready to bend, then it may go on. Right? If one is ready to bend, but ego means it will not go. Today I bend, and afterward there can be an explosion, right? So then it is very difficult, and that's why we see fragmentation of states, fragmentation of countries, fragmentation of families, joint families retarding, and so much happening. So, what is the solution to this problem? And this is a real time problem. The real time problem. How do you solve the problem? How do you solve the problem of relationships? And I'll tell you, I'm a brahmachari, so I've not got married, so, but then I've been in ashram closely with so many, you know, both people completely rightly intended. Nobody is wrong, but together it's an explosion. Make sense? ये भी सही है वो भी सही है बट दोनों हरी बोल है हॉरिबल है it just doesn't fit at that level. So how to make relationships work?
The book probably like by from their lens, prioritizing ourselves.
Yeah, they call it empathy. Look from others' shoes. Then, but then we're saying यार कितना मैं दूसरे के जूते में बैठूंगा यार मेरी भी जिंदगी है all the time I empathize I also have some क्या बोलते हैं I also need some you know I also need to get some boosting. I keep boosting. Who will boost me? Right? And that's where we're coming to this point. The super soul is in everyone's heart and he doesn't get divided. He's the same person. Just like the sun, Prabhupada says, uh, the sun in London, the sun in India, and the sun in America, are they different? The same, right? The sun in Newtown and the sun in Baliganj, the same. So the super soul is in everyone's heart, but he is the same. So there's one common element in every relationship, in every team, in every family. Who is that? The super soul. So we may find it difficult to keep it together, but if we collaborate with him, he can keep everyone together. And the example is the Pandavas. Now, who are Pandavas? They are great devotees of the Lord. Are they great devotees? Big devotees. We know they were in the Mahabharat warfield. And they were fighting with whom? Kauravas. But there's an interesting episode in the Mahabharata, I think we shared some time. That one time Yudhishthir became little bruised in the war and he was in the tent. And he thought Arjuna will avenge for the injury has happened to him. But Arjuna with Krishna came to see if Yudhishthir is okay. So when Arjuna came into the tent to see Yudhishthir's well-being, Yudhishthir was so upset that I have been injured by the enemy. Then he expected that Arjuna will avenge the harm that's done to me. But what happened? Arjuna did not do anything. And he just came to see Yudhishthir. Make sense? And Yudhishthir is a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means they become angry. If martially things don't work. So Yudhishthir became so angry at Arjuna. He said, Arjun, तुम युद्ध नहीं किए और घर आ गए यूनक गांडीव नीचे रख दो. He literally abused Arjuna because of his anger. That you are like a eunuch, napunsak, you have no prowess. Keep your gandiva down. And Arjuna had taken a vow that if anybody tells me to put gandiva down, I will kill him. That is the vow Arjuna has taken beforehand. And Kshatriyas, they are supposed to follow their vows. So now Arjuna has to kill Yudhishthir. Right? And it is decided. He has to kill. And this is battlefield going on. The war is going on against whom? The Kauravas. And in this tent, what is happening? Two brothers are fighting. They are not fighting. One brother has decided दूसरा brother को खत्म करना है. Then what happened? Arjuna took his sword, took his weapons, and he was ready to kill Yudhishthir. So immediately Krishna was behind. Krishna said, Arjun, you have taken a vow to kill Yudhishthir. If he asked him to put your Gandiva down, he said, to insult a superior is worse than killing him. To disregard a superior is worse than killing him. Why? Because when you disregard a superior, he dies in your life. Makes sense what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They cannot influence you anymore. जिसको आप डिसरिगार्ड करते हो वो आपके जीवन में हस्तक्षेप नहीं कर सकता. एंड इवन द सुपीरियर नोस if this person is disregarding me, I cannot help him anymore in his life. So to disregard a superior is like killing him in our life. So Krishna told Arjuna, disregard Yudhishthir, don't kill him. So he disregarded Yudhishthir. तुम्हारे कारण ये युद्ध हुआ, तुम्हारे कारण द्रौपदी का अपमान हुआ, जुआ खेलने तुम गए थे, फिर तुम लड़ने नहीं दिए. पूरा जो भड़ास था अंदर से जब ये बोल दिया, शिष्टाचार से जो बांध के रखा था, he told everything. But he didn't mean it, but he said it. So then what happened? Yudhishthir went into depression. I will not be king. I don't want the war. Because if you're looked down upon, then who wants to take charge when people don't want him? Can anyone exist in a place where you are not wanted? So Yudhishthir went into moroseness. Then Krishna went to Yudhishthir and counseled him for long hours. And then Yudhishthir came back to normality. And by that time, Arjuna felt so much of guilt that I have abused Yudhishthir. He said, I will commit suicide. He was preparing fire to commit suicide. First, Arjuna was planning to kill Yudhishthir. Krishna had to work. Now, Arjuna is working on killing himself. तो अभी युधिष्ठिर को बचाया तो फिर अभी अर्जुन आत्महत्या करने जा रहा है, खुदकुशी. Then again Krishna came to Arjuna and said, don't kill yourself, Dhananjay, Gudakesh. To glorify oneself is worse than killing oneself. They say, no, beat your own trumpet. So the Shastra says, if you beat your own trumpet, it is like performing suicide. Why is it suicide? Why glorifying oneself and beating one's trumpet is suicide? Yes. When you glorify yourself and put yourself in a position, you become puffed up, proud. Right? And pride is the necessary ingredient for destruction. You say, na, pride comes before a fall. You become proud, then you disrespect others, and then everything gets destroyed. The Devatas disrespected their Guru Brihaspati, and they were out of heaven, destroyed by the demons. Their prowess was as it is, but they disregarded because of pride and lost it all. So Krishna in this way protected Arjuna from committing suicide. Krishna protected Yudhishthir from going into depression. Krishna protected the fight between Arjuna and Yudhishthir, which was leading to Yudhishthir's death. And this is all happening while we are fighting with Kauravas. That means if Krishna was not there, all the Pandava race would have finished in the tent only. Can you understand? That means family fights are more difficult than world wars. Make sense? Because there's a lot of things, a lot of aspects. But Krishna protected the Pandavas' relationships because they depended on Krishna. And Krishna was in the heart of everyone. He tied up everyone's hearts and he healed everyone's hearts to keep it together. And this is the reason we say how the Lord should be in the center of our house, center of our lives. It is not just giving a consolation prize to him. अरे ठीक है, भगवान ने इतनी सृष्टि बनाई है भाई, आपके लिए भी एक थोड़ी जगह हो जाए हमारे घर में, right? We let you also have some place. No, if he is in place, the house will be in his place. If he is misplaced,
House will be displaced.
the house will be displaced. Right? It will be a house is called bhavan. Right? भवन वो जगह है जहां पे भगवान है. राइट? जहां भगवान है वो है वृंदावन, वो है वैकुंठ. वैकुंठ क्या है? जहां पे कोई कुंठा नहीं. So where is Bhavan, there is Bhagavan. And Bhagavan jahan hai, it's Vrindavan, it is Vaikuntha, it is Ramraj. And when Bhagavan leaves from Bhavan, what does it become? One. Bhavan, Bhagavan leaves. It becomes one. And what happens in one? Everybody chasing after each other. Right? Survival of the fittest. So then the house will become survival of the fittest. Right? It will be a place of immense, conflicts. So when we hear that the Lord is in everyone's heart and everywhere, that means if we connect the Lord, we can connect a family. If we connect the Lord, we can connect a whole family estate, a family race. We can connect a whole state. We can connect a whole country. We can connect the whole world. We can connect the whole cosmos. And that is how there could be emperors ruling the whole world, because they made connection with the Supersoul, right? And they represented in their life the directions of the Supersoul, right? So having said this, so how do we make a connection? Because there's more to say. How do we make connection with the Supersoul? What is the way we make a connection with the Supersoul? The devotion, yes. We chant the holy name. So to connect to the Supersoul, the first thing we need to do is to desire to make a connection. Right? Relationship happens only after you make a desire. You have to desire to make a connection with the person behind the scenes. And second, then you approach the local office, local place, and have exchanges with the Lord. How do you make relationships in this world? You make relationships by How do you make relationships in this world? What is the first thing you do when you want to make a relationship with someone? Huh?
Send your hand. You basically surrender.
Like say we want to make some friends with some people. So what do we need as ingredients to make that relationship? Personal contact. That means communication. So what do you communicate? What do you do practically? I'm talking like not on a practical level. What do you do? Like say you have to make that here is such a person and they are very good, and if you make a relationship, it'll be good for your work, good for your future. Like give time. The first thing to make relationships is to spend time with them. If you don't spend time, will the relationship ever happen? No. So the first thing we need to do is to spend time with the Supersoul. And what kind of spending time? Multiprocessing time. It should be full on, like you and the other person, full availability. Do we ever connect to a person who is on their phone while they're talking to you? They're on the phone and you come up for the work and says, bolo, bolo, bolo. Please speak. Hare Krishna, what's going on? So what is the deal and what's happened? Continue. The person will say, पहले phone रखिए या मैं जा रहा हूँ, isn't it? And some people you see get very offended. They get super offended, to the extent I have, at least for me, I have seen, somebody I call up and they lift the call and they start talking to someone. You've seen that? I immediately put the phone down. He said, then let him call, then they will talk. So he's lifted up and now he's talking to someone. So we get affected, right? So when we spend time with people, it has to be with that kind of, giving importance. Otherwise, you could actually end up offending the other person. So similarly, when you spend time with the super soul, with the Lord, do it with giving him importance and give him that personal involvement, right? Giving time. So that is the first thing you do. So how do you give time to Krishna? You spend time with him. You chant his glory, chant the holy name, do some arti. Like do something. Spending time.
Read books.
Read books. That means you know about him more. Anyone you want to make a relationship, you want to know what they like, what they don't like, what they become, isn't it? As friends, who do you make good friends? One who knows, one who is sensitive to other persons' likes, dislikes, and makes you comfortable. Talk of friends who are very blunt. They don't bother what you like, they bother what they like. After some time, they will not find their friends. Friendship you make when you are sensitive to other person. Like person A is sensitive to person B, and person B is sensitive to person A. That makes friendships, right? So similarly, the super soul, he is always sensitive to our needs. So we become conscious. Okay, what does Krishna like? What does he like? What does he dislike? And you kind of relate with them. In that way, you make a relationship. So bhakti is the means of turning to the Lord and making that relationships. So please understand that bhakti is not something sentimental or not something romantic that I think it's good, we should do it, will be called religious or whatever we call spiritual. No, turning to the super soul and making a connection with him is actually the game changer, or the way you can live out your life in the best way. Without the contact with the super soul, as I said, in keeping your relationships together, in keeping your things together, in cognizance, in everything, we will be confused and there will be always fear. Yes, for every aspect. Huh?
Turning pillar to post only to fall down.
Yes. And the most interesting thing is, even if you're okay, we, because of fear, we would think maybe we're not okay. Right? Mentally, people get so worked out in life. I was just speaking other day. We were talking that today people's bodies are well taken care, but their minds are wrecked up. There's so many cancers of mind, and the cancers of mind are eating them up, killing them fully, and nobody knows how to cure those cancers because no one even admits they have cancers. Right? People say they're okay, but all others understand. ठीक नहीं है. So there's a lot of work. So when you turn to the super soul, in every aspect we get healed. Hare Krishna.